Hello and welcome back to another Digging the Game. In this series we play computer games as archaeologists, and today I have found a fantastic game to play as archaeologists. I'm joined by Liv, you can see at the top there.
Hi guys!
Hello Liv, how excited are you to play Carbon-14 Dating?
Super excited.
Super excited.
This seems to be the best game all year. They should put it in like archaeology classes so people learn.
They should. I mean, because already look at this. We've got a super realistic looking bunch of archaeologists there. You know, slightly nerdy guy because he's got the game T-shirt on. Sort of the hot guy who's been abroad and maybe has learned a life-changing lesson on his gap year with a tattoo on his neck. You know, all these sort of things. The jock. You know, I mean, it's yeah. Obviously, I'm being facetious. This is meant to be fun, I think, and I think we're going to have some fun today. So let's dive in. Let's press start and leave mini games on. Okay. Start game. Okay. Is this it? Says Melissa. I glanced at the map which highlighted the road names along with a star next to my destination. After comparing, I came to the conclusion that this wasn't the place, but I was close. What place is this, do you think? Who knows? The village, Corinne, was clustered by the Meuse River, and I paused to admire the pretty gardens surrounding the houses. I was oddly calm, despite being over 5,000 miles from my Californian home. The reality of being in the other country had yet to sink in. Up ahead, there was a clearing, separated from the road by a fence. On the other side, a few tents were stationed behind a two-storey building. That might be where the archaeologists are. I spotted an open chain gate with a billboard in front of the driveway. It said, Grotte de Calais Entrée. Okay.
So they're in France.
That's the place, okay. Oh, Belgium, apparently, actually. A familiar figure stood by the entrance. She was currently talking to a middle-aged man, but she saw me, gave me a cheerful wave as I ran up to her. Hello, familiar figure. Chérie! With one hand on my bag handle, I exchanged a half embrace with my professor. I didn't know you already arrived. If you called me, I would have come and picked you up at the train station.
Oh.
You mentioned that the cave wasn't far, so I wanted to soak in the scenery and enjoy the sights. I'm glad you made it safely. Was it difficult taking the train? It can be difficult for archaeologists, to be fair. Nope. Yeah. And I did try and practice my French at the ticket station until the person said I could speak English. He pointed me in the right direction. Okay.
That's very good of her.
Yeah, it is. At least you'll be able to brush up on your French. You'll find it's not too different from Spanish. You'll catch quickly. Not too different I groaned inwardly.
Okay.
My Spanish wasn't most fluent, but I mentioned in my interview discussing how I could cope staying in Belgium without knowing French. Okay. I glanced around, then turned to Chérie. Where's Paige? Paige, she didn't she say she'd be arriving earlier today? I got an email from her yesterday saying there was a family emergency. She won't be able to participate this summer. I failed to hide my disappointment. Paige was another student from my university who planned to attend this field school. We even worked out trips to do every weekend during our stay. I mustered up a weak smile. It's understandable. Can't be helped if it's family. Then it would just be me. Chérie gestured to the other person present to change the subject. Oh, hello. Before I forget, let me introduce you to Professor Augustine Dupont, Chief Archaeologist of Kaelin Cave. I eagerly extended my arm for a handshake. Everything I heard about Mr. Dupont was from Chérie. She had mentioned that he was a revered Belgian archaeologist. It's an honour to meet you. I'm Melissa Flores, a junior. I look forward to seeing Chérie's students every summer. It's a pleasure to meet you, says Mr. Dupont spoke with a heavy French accent. See? But I had no trouble understanding him. Have you gone over everything with Chérie? With the students from Liège arrive tonight, they'll get their first lecture before dinner. Okay. Yes, I'll attend the lecture though. If I was going to be submerged in the language, I might as well start by hanging around with the local students. Fair enough? Mr. Dupont eyed my suitcase. Must have been a tiring trip. Come, we will show you around the back. Students will be spending the weekdays here. We reached a clearing and I spotted the same tents, most clustered around the perimeter, against the bushes, and a few were closer to the building. Okay?
Oh.
Feel free to pick one. These are for the students who don't own their own tents or air mattresses, or couldn't bring them. Okay? The chief archaeologist gave a nod, then excused himself. He probably had other matters to attend to before the students arrived. Fair play.
Probably.
I studied the tents next to the building and thought about my phone, which was still in airplane mode. Oh. How's the Wi-Fi here? If you stay in that tent, you might get Wi-Fi. It doesn't extend much here in the back. If you brought a laptop, you can leave it in the laboratory. It's been done before. Everything gets locked up at night, though, for safekeeping. Okay, fair enough. At least I can keep in touch with my parents. Once you've finished, come back to the front and we'll give you a tour. Okay, will we get to see the cave today? It's already locked, so you'll have to wait until morning. Okay, fair enough. And the anticipation builds. I thanked her and started unpacking. There was already a mattress, pillow, and sleeping bag in place, and it only took a few moments to settle in. Done. Grabbing a small storage bag, I zipped my tent and hurried over to the front of the building.
Why didn't you bring her own sleeping bag?
I don't know. Is it possible to... No. Anyway, this is the main entrance. This will take you to the... To the what?
To the...
Dramatic pause.
It's very long.
To the... She opened the door and my eyes widened and I saw display after display. Oh, look at all those things on display. Look at the coins over there.
Mm-hmm.
Bones. Posters for sale. So it was a museum. Okay.
Indeed.
And a remarkably tiny one. After one loop, I was already back to the entrance. I wanted to examine the displays more, but figured I'd have more free time later. Okay, fair enough. Sherry and I ascended the stairs by the entrance. This room is more of a multi-purpose room. It can be used for lectures, and it's where findings are cleaned if the weather isn't suitable outside. I cradled the storage bag, wondering how to bring up the question. Fortunately, Sherry noticed. Something important in there? Sorry. Extra insulin. I won't be using it. It needs to avoid extreme temperatures. Is there somewhere safe I could... So Melissa is diabetic.
Oh.
I wonder how this will play out. Oh, of course. Thank you for reminding me. Feel free to use the indoor kitchen since it's restricted to staff members. Augustine has granted you access since he knows you're a diabetic. She led me to the back, giving me a chance to store the insulin bottles in the fridge. Okay?
That's nice.
No, well, it's very nice. And to conclude the tour, this is the lab where most of the research takes place. Okay, cool. How many students will be here? Good question. It varies. There can be as many as 40 or as few as 20, but never one. Students from Liège are required to devote at least 4 weeks working at an archaeological site, regardless of their major. Interesting. So they could be studying cheese making and still have to come on an archaeological course, apparently. Yeah. Therefore, we get a lot of music and art students too. You see, cheese making, art student, yeah. The other students should be arriving soon. How's the jet lag? She looks so worried, does Sherry? Look at that. Yeah. How's the jet lag? Not bad so far. A little fatigue, but nothing else. Okay. I'm going to be up all night, aren't I? What? Sorry, I'm being naughty already. Worst case scenario, I'll give you an extra day to prepare yourself for the dig. Okay. Mm-hmm. You'll have reviewed the material you have reviewed the material I've given you, right? Now, actually, this is something, Liv. Do you always review material you're given before you go on an excavation?
Most of the time.
Yeah, I have to say I'm quite naughty at that. I'll turn up with the with the book or with the printouts, but they won't have been read.
I usually have to travel so long.
You read
so
on
I
the
can
train?
read it on the train.
Okay, good. Okay. Yes, I've looked at it. See, look, the
Just
game
like you.
knows. The game knows. Melissa's looking all embarrassed. Is there anything else you'd like to go over? It has been a month since my last lecture. What should we do? Inquire about Caelan Cave. How long have you been digging here? Go over the itinerary. Go over field school grading system. Blimey. Ask about Augustine. Neanderthal or Neanderthal. That's all. What do you reckon?
Inquire about the cave, maybe?
Okay. Can you remind me about the site again? I know it's famous for discovering the remains of Neanderthal dating back 125,000 years ago. Correct. The site has established 2 Neanderthal occupants from different times. This is mainly a Middle Paleolithic site, with sediments ranging from 300,000 years old to as recent as 4,000 years. You know, I just want to just pause for a second here and just say, this game is probably the most actually archaeological game that we've played on this series so far. And I was expecting this to be a mushy dating simulator. This is, I'm kind of impressed.
This is educational.
Yeah, it is. It is. Nice. I can't wait to discover a tooth or something. Yeah. If you do, it'll likely belong to a cave bear. Oh, blimey. Look, Sherry looks worried again.
Mm-hmm.
Chill, Sherry. It's okay. Cave bear are those their remains found often. Yes, 99% of all fauna animal remains collected are cave bear. Even so, I'm sure that's something. Not many people can say they dug up a cave bear. That's true. Okay, How have you been digging here? Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you been part of the team? Me, started with working with Augustine about 10 years ago. We go way back. That's how I can establish the Caelan Cave that's how I established the Caelan Cave internship. Our university has developed a reputation for bringing over exceptional students. And it's just me this year. I hope I'm able to live up to expectations, says Melissa. I'm sure you'll do fine.
Pressure.
Go over itinerary. What's the schedule exactly? How long does the dig go on till? And that's a good question. Yeah. It's all going on until the end of August, and you'll be leaving at the end of next month, was it? Right, on a Saturday. I know only 4 weeks are required for field school, but I thought I'll learn more if I stayed for the whole 8. So Melissa's that kind of student. Mm-hmm. Dates aside, breakfast is served in the morning at 7:30. Okay, cave and lab activities go on from 8 till noon, and there's an hour for lunch. Activities resume from 1 till 5. Okay.
That's a decent schedule.
Dinner starts at 7. On weekends, both students and excavation team leave for home. The cave and museums are locked up during this time. Okay. The back of the building will be accessible to you, of course. And if you prefer, you can sleep on the second floor if you don't like the idea of sleeping outside alone. Something tells me we won't be. Why am I so determined to play this game like a eager beaver? Again, I'm sorry, it's just you. I usually get more students than this. I'll be okay on my own. Promise, says Melissa. Okay. Go over field school grading system.
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to go over the grading system one more time. Okay. Did you bring a journal? I sure did. Essentially, I'll be grading you on your performances, both in the cave and working at the lab. I'd like you to record your findings and experiences in the journal. You see, this game, it's like I was going. I'm not sure I want to spend $14.99 on this game. It's just going to be mulch, but it's archaeology. I expect to be turned in every Friday evening, and I'll give it back the following Monday. Okay. If you're sick, you're allowed to miss some days. I won't deduct marks for that. However, there's no excuse for playing truant. Once again, Sherry looks very concerned.
Yes.
Don't forget to take breaks often while you're excavating the cave. There's a risk of getting hypoxia due to less oxygen. Okay. Wow.
Cool.
I'm not just marking your academics, though. I'll also be seeing how often you volunteer. Volunteer. Yes, students use the outdoor kitchen and are in charge of preparing meals, along with cleanup that follows again, this game is realistic.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to volunteer all the time, since that does cut into your excavation and lab time. But once in a while is ideal. Okay. Should we ask about Augustine?
Yeah. Yes.
Is Augustine easy to get along with? He seems friendly. He is for the most part, but he's like an overprotective father when it comes to the cave. He's been supervising it for over 2 decades and is the leading expert in it's his baby. Okay.
Very, very realistic.
Yeah. I'll be helping you, of course, and as far as I'm concerned, you're my student, not his. Any problems that come up, I'll discuss with you personally, says Sherry. Okay. I meekly nodded, although now I was worried about making a mistake. After all, this was new to me. Well, she's asking, good questions. Now, Neanderthal or Neanderthal? Interesting. Mm-hmm. I noticed all your lectures you use Neanderthal. I've always heard it was Neanderthal. Is it a preference? A preference? There is no H sound when it's pronounced in French and German. It's something I picked up when I started working in Europe. And to be fair, I think most people say Neanderthal, don't they? They don't say Neanderthal. Yeah. So, it's interesting. So that's possibly the game developers, maybe, asking the question. But okay. However, both are accepted spellings in academic journals. Here it'll be referred to as Neanderthal. Okay. Well, thank you. Right, Neanderthal it is, says Melissa, sorry. That's all. That's all. I think I'm good for now. Great. However, if any questions come up, feel free to ask.
She's very nice.
She is very nice, isn't she? I also like the necklace. We heard activity outside, complete with loud voices and footsteps on the gravel. It sounds like students from Liège are here. Augustine will start the lecture soon. Huh? No chance to unpack or get ready or anything like that? Well, to be fair, we had a chance and we decided to rush into the tour, so don't complain, Melissa.
But maybe she's asking if they won't get a chance.
Oh, I see. Oh, I thought Melissa was being complaining. Sorry. I'm being unfair.
Oh, maybe. We don't know.
No, all the students were given instructions on when to arrive. Punctuality is valued greatly here. Okay. He'll lecture now. Some of the English is a bit weird, isn't it? And the students will settle in after. Okay. I'll be on my way. Oh, wow. Blimey. Some students stood while others sat on the stone tiles in front of the building. A few leaned against their luggage, but they all formed a semicircle around Augustine. Okay. There were about 30 faces, and I wondered how the camping grounds would contain them all. They fell silent when Augustine began to speak. Look how worried this girl looks. Look incredibly worried. She looks quite happy, but and he's just like, oh, blimey. Yeah. Okay. Interesting goatee. Anyway, hello. Although I picked up Although I picked up key words such as archaeology, grotte, and sediment, much of it was lost on me. He repeated calcaire a lot too. However, his gestures were vibrant, and I sensed the passion behind his voice. It got me looking forward to an excavation tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so what do? We can play catch, we can study, we can browse the internet, inquire, game, socialise.
Socialise.
Although, let's see, we're in the digging patch on Monday, so maybe we should do some research.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Then we can play catch, maybe, and then we can socialise. Do I have to set out the whole week? Oh, blimey.
I think so.
Okay. How do we get to do some digging?
I think that's...
Browse the internet, socialise, study, internet again, game. Browse the internet, study, play catch. Okay. How about that one?
Maybe socialise.
Yeah, socialise.
Inquire.
Game.
Mm-hmm.
And at the weekend, dance. Okay. So, Like Sherry said, there was another lecture in the morning, complete with a whiteboard, and Augustine demonstrating how to use a trowel. And you can see the stratigraphy in the on the whiteboard. That's quite cool. Okay. It was all in French.
I don't think anyone ever told me how to use a trowel.
No.
Not in a classroom, at least.
No. I think I once got someone telling me how to sort of angle my wrist a bit, but
Yeah.
it was all in French, and Sherry was kind enough to translate some key phrases or remind me as I covered this with her before the trip. Okay. The students were divided, with one half, me included, to head for the cave, while the other group would stay behind for lab work. Okay, the walk to the cave was roughly 10 minutes, passing through a narrow path in sloped woods. The trickiest sections had cemented stairs installed, along with handles to prevent slipping. When we reached an ordinary-looking shed, Augustine pulled out his keys. I realised this was the cave entrance, or at least an artificial part of it. Okay. Once you're inside, please spread out so I can explain how to wet screen. Okay, cool. He repeated the instructions in French as we filed through one by one. There was a raised counter in the middle with plastic containers suspended on wooden supports.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is where the wet screening takes place. Looks like it can only fit 2 people at a time. I wonder how often it will be used. 2 people at a time, eh? Yeah, C14 Dating. When are we going to get to dating? I want to get to dating. Augustine demonstrated by lowering an empty metal sieve into the plastic container. Grabbing a hose, he mimed washing the screen and routing through pretend dirt. Okay. As much as I tried to pay attention, the language barrier tested my focus, and my eyes started to wander. Oh, what should we look at? Should we check out the posters? Should we stay focused? Should we look down?
No.
Posters?
Yeah, posters.
Okay. Posters depicted sedimentary layers, cave bears, and even proudly displayed pictures from previous excavations. Okay. They were definitely useful for references. If I could read French. Okay, our des cavernes must mean the cave bear. Our des cavernes? I'm terrible with French pronunciation. Must mean cave bear. At least I figured that one out. My shuffle brought me back to attention, and people were gathering buckets, tools, and knee pads, the all-important knee pads. I followed and carried everything in my own bucket, including a sheet of paper encased in a plastic bag. Do you know, these guys have done their research, haven't they? Like,
yeah.
You plonk everything in your bucket, you walk off from the shed to the... Okay. The real entrance to the cave opened, wow, look at that, leading to a narrow industrial catwalk suspended over the abyss. Crikey. Once I walked through, the temperature dropped to a cool chill, and I zipped up my hoodie. Augustine directed students to various locations while Sherry carefully slipped by, and I followed. The cave opened up farther, and numerous stalactites and stalagmites were everywhere. The catwalk railing disappeared where the ladders connected, or when it branched off into other segments of the cave. Sherry, where will I dig? Good question. Sherry leaned over the railing and pointed to one of the deeper parts. In the abyss. You'll be digging here. It's a 125,000-year-old layer. The very same one where we discovered a Neanderthal mandible. What? I'll be digging in such an important place already? Despite my nerves, I felt giddy inside. Cherie climbed down the ladder and I trailed behind her. At the bottom of the ladder was another catwalk positioned exactly in the middle. Now that my eyes adjusted to the dim light, I noticed there were strings and cords hung everywhere, a specific pattern, with notes nailed into the soil. Cherie brought me to the end of the catwalk, where there was yet another ladder, but this time much shorter. You'll be digging on the right side, here. Okay? There was a rather cosy-looking pit, a perfectly dug-out square. 2 to 3 people could probably move around freely in this space. It was almost right under the main catwalk higher up too. This is your carré D32, okay? Carré D32. Carré means square, okay? Everything is separated into a grid system, starting from the entrance of the cave, the uppermost left to right, goes A1, B1, and so forth, okay? That makes sense. It explains all the lines dangling from the ceiling too. They're for measuring. Correct. Shall we take a closer look? The photographs for this row should be done already. I'll be right back. Go ahead and set your items down. Okay. She retreated while I placed the bucket next to the shorter ladder. I descended, then grabbed the tools before I hopped off the last step. Okay. The layer I'd be working on was mostly dirt, with the odd large rock sticking out of it here or there. It would be easy to dig. Oh, you're making assumptions.
You say so.
Oh. This is where she causes a cave in, and it just sort of crushes her to death. Yeah. By the time Sherry returned, I already had my knee pads out and the piece of paper next to me. Well done, I guess. She handed it to me. I could tell it was It was printed off in the highest resolution possible, fully inked and glossy. What do we use this photograph for? Asked Melissa. First things first, we distinguish each layer and outline it on the photograph. Okay. Once Augustine or myself check it over, you can go ahead and start excavating. Well, that's an interesting technique, actually. It's an interesting way of getting them to spot the... I'm not sure is that practice? I don't think I've ever seen someone do that.
I haven't done much that old archaeology.
No.
Or cave archaeology, so it must be a thing from that.
Yeah, I suppose it could be a French cave thing. Who knows? But what's the other thing? I suppose I have seen people drawing out layers on photos in Scottish caves, for example. Mm-hmm. But that's normally it's not during the excavation. Anyway. Okay, interesting. This picture is an irreplaceable reference, and you'll find yourself relying on it often. Please don't lose it or get it tarnished. Okay, mm-hmm. Sherry. Okay. Sadly, Augustine is short-staffed at the moment. I'll be helping the other students since most are new to this too. Okay? Is there anything you'd like to go over? Nope. Okay. Yes, apparently there are things I'd like to go over. Type of excavation. I've always heard about horizontal digging, but vertical? Oh. It was Augustine's idea. Stratigraphy, the study of rock layers, is extremely important, and this excavation method ensures each layer is examined in great detail. Okay, it's also easier to compare the strata when you can view it as a whole. Mm. So she's talking about taking a section there, then basically. Cutting a nice straight and seeing the wall. If you want to know about the cave in general or its stratigraphical approach, it's stratigraphical, there you go, approaches, you can ask Hendrik when he arrives. Okay. He's the resident geologist and Augustine's nephew. Oh. Ding dong. What's this? I quickly glanced at the first word at the top. Fiche thing, exactly. I know we've gone over how it's used to record findings, but I flipped it open, seeing a coordinate grid with a 0 in the lower left corner, extending to 100 for both x and y axis. It looks complicated, says Melissa. Oh. At that, a little bit of math will come into play. A little bit of math will come into play. You'll be measuring where you find the remains using both the x and the y with the z altitude. X runs parallel to the entrance, y goes off from front to back. Okay. So this is sort of datum point locating something on the site. Yeah. Every section is divided into 100 by 100 centimeters. Yes. I forgot that we'll be using the metric system. My mind's going to have fun adjusting to it, says Melissa. Why isn't Melissa wearing why aren't they both wearing hard hats in here? The grid helps, and you'll record what you find under this list labelled nature. Each fiche or document has its own number already written, along with the year, and you'll fill the car number and layer name in today's date. Oh, and write down the photo's number on it so there's no mix-ups. Okay, so this is a fine sheet. This is,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, Liv, this is like proper hardcore archaeology game. I mean,
I know they should actually give this to people before field school.
I wanted really mushy, anime love.
Maybe it gets worse.
Okay, maybe it gets worse. Okay, let's hope. Did you get all that? Yes, I did. That's a lot to take in, but I think I grasped it. Okay. It's easier once you actually start, and I'll be there to help. Remember, 1 fiche per layer. Blah, blah, blah. What to do once you find an artifact or bone. Okay. So what do I do once I find a Neanderthal tooth? First, don't just pluck it out like some amateur archaeologist. You'll lose the context.
Oh god, I love this game.
Measure it before you remove it. Number it, then carefully wrap it in tin foil. Tin foil? Well, no, I suppose it... I don't know, would that contaminate the tooth?
I don't know.
Is tin foil a tooth thing? I don't think it is. Anyway, there will be a plastic bag you can use to store all the findings. We got that word again, findings.
Mm-hmm.
How do you number the findings? Just by the order you find them in. 1, 2, 3. Or jot it down on a piece of paper and stick it in the tin foil as well so it won't get lost. Okay. When you finish excavating the entire layer, seal everything found in the plastic bag along with the completed fiche. Believe me, you'll feel relieved to finally finish a layer. Okay, cool. Handling each layer. When I excavate vertically, I just focus on the one layer at a time, right? That's the ideal approach. However, layers aren't perfect straight lines like in textbook diagrams. Oh my god! This is actually a brilliant archaeology game. I mean, I can't believe they widen and narrow and slant or disappear completely. If you come into a situation where you have to dig through more than one layer, keep separate fiches and buckets, never mix the contents.
Oh my god, she's such a great archaeologist.
Because once you fill up a bucket, once you fill a bucket, you'll be wet screening the material. Anything you looked at the first time, such as bone, will then be overlooked. The first time, such as bone, will be deposited into a cup marked with the layer name. So they're sieving the spoil. They're sieving the spoil here. What happens if you find something extremely important, like a Neanderthal skull? She's obsessed with the teeth and skulls. I admit the image of suddenly pulling out a complete skull of the screening area is rather comical. But then, you better hope Augustine doesn't see it. You never want to find flint or burnt bone in your tessimage, which is French for screening. So in other words, you should spot this before it goes in the bucket. Okay. Keep a careful eye out, and if you find something you're unsure of, ask me or a fellow archaeologist. Okay? I think I got it. I'm good, Sherry. Wonderful. I'll give you some time to get familiar with your square. If you're struggling, remember you can adjust the heat lamps. Also, the photograph's contrasts have been altered to help distinguish the sedimentary layers easily. Oh my god! I'll be back shortly.
We are such nerds.
This is the best archaeology game ever, and we haven't even started the dating. I glanced down at the photograph before comparing it to a vertical wall in front of me. No matter how closely I looked, everything was brown, 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 and more brown. Yep.
I feel you, Melissa.
How am I supposed to tell the difference of this brown layer from the next brown layer? Good question. Not deterred, I picked up a pencil and began marking the more distinct sediments. Okay. Eventually it became less solid brown, and I could see reds and faint yellows in the soil. I was so focused that I barely registered that I was not alone anymore. Oh, is this going to be the dating? Oh
my god!
Moody boy. A tall student stood by the square next to mine, already engaged in identifying sediments, and apparently looking a little bit standoffish. Emo. I paid him no heed until I became stumped on whether I was looking at one layer or two. Quietly peering at his profile, he seemed rather familiar with the system. I guess it wouldn't hurt to ask him, or at least to try and communicate. Can I get your opinion on something? Quiet student, ellipsis, ... Melissa, ellipsis, ... Hello, bonjour. Still no reaction. I reached out and gave him a gentle tap on the shoulder.
Oh no.
Exquoa. What? What?
Excuse.
It's like excuse me.
Yeah, she's trying to say excuse me. But
the touch jolted him so abruptly that I retracted my hand. He whirled around and then glared at me.
Scared.
Avez-vous besoin de quelque chose? I know what that means. I used to know what that means. Sorry, I don't speak French. Non parle, non. Oh, anglais, he probably said, rolling his eyes.
Yeah.
He placed his photograph on top of his square. Did you need something? Oh, he's now aloof student. He's not shy student or quiet student. Oh. Yeah, actually, I'm trying to figure out the layers, and I can't tell if this is one. I gently traced the soil and then pretended to pinch the air, giving an idea of width. Oh no, he says, sorry, okay. 1 or 2, it seems reddish at the top. He grabbed his trowel, giving the vibe of a serious and no-nonsense person. Once I shuffled out of the way, he examined the area I'd indicated. 2. This stratum is more red, as you said, but gradually disappears around the ear. Okay, fair enough. He etched a small line to mark the ending. I blinked as I recognised the differences, and then nodded gratefully. Mm-hmm. Thanks so much. I mean, I sort of figured, but I wasn't sure either. It's nice to get a second opinion. I gave him a cheerful smile, but he remained impassive.
He looks really scared.
He even seemed baffled when I reached out to initiate a proper handshake. I'm Melissa. I'm one foreign student here, if it wasn't obvious already, with my language skills. Reluctantly, he switched the trowel into his left hand and gave a solid shake before letting it go. Gaillard is my name. Je suis Gaillard. And that was it. With nothing else to work with from his introduction, I decided to bring up his skills. I'm guessing you're aspiring to be an archaeologist. You're oh, this surely he's going to turn around and go, no shit, Sherlock. No, I live in the cave. You appear to know what you're doing. He returned to his side of the square, knelt down, grabbing his photograph. Yes, this is my 4th time here. I'm acquainted with the subject. And you, especially since you're not from around here. Well, I'm still deciding, or I'm pretty serious about it.
She seems pretty serious about it.
Yeah, okay, I'm pretty serious about it. Of course, I did come all the way from California to experience this firsthand. Fair point. I also love the idea of working on such old archaeological sites. I'm surprised they assigned me to an excavated 125,000-year-old layer. I looked upward, and it did seem most students got the upper strata to work with instead. For someone so interested, you did get distracted easily, he says. Hey! It was all in French, and I couldn't help but look around. Since we're excavating next to each other, that makes us square mates. Or would that be carré mates? Either way, I look forward to working alongside with you. He looked confused, but simply gave me a mechanical nod. Right. Likewise. Even his last words felt artificial, and I lost him to his little world of microstratigraphy. Oh. I guess he values his concentration, says Melissa. I mentally reminded myself to bring my earbuds next time. I had a feeling we wouldn't be making much small talk outside of excavation. Oh, okay. The rest of the day was pretty uneventful. It was mostly a long wait for my photograph to be approved by Cherie, and then I got hit by jet lag. Oh no, not the jet lag. Despite my worries, Cherie said she wouldn't deduct marks if I napped until dinner. Do you think that's realistic, deducting marks if you have to have a nap? I don't know. Although she did scold me for forgetting my journal. Then she threw me into the abyss. I scanned the tables and manoeuvred to where Cherie sat. I scooted to a spot on the bench and silently started my meal. Okay. After a few bites, I poked at the pasta dejectedly and sighed. No, I really wish Paige was here. And we promised to do so many things together too. I glanced up hopefully at Cherie. I felt bad, but she was the only oasis in this unfamiliar place, and I clung to it. Not only that, aside from Gaillard, none of the students greeted me or even tried to converse with me, because they're French. and or Belgian. I guess it was obvious that I didn't attend the same university. Well, that happens. That does happen. Yeah. You'll get all the the people who know each other grouping together. Will I fit in? Asks Melissa.
No, Melissa.
No,
you
won't.
won't.
No.
You're an American among French.
Indeed. Welcome to Disneyland, you crappy Englishman. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's shit. The question was more for myself, but Sherry overheard. You're speaking out loud. What? You don't sit at a table and say, "Will I fit in here?" Oh, God. Melissa, honestly, Sherry overheard. Worried? The students here can be reserved, but I'm sure there'll be a few brave ones who'd like to practice their English with you. Okay, thank you. They're probably too focused on the lectures and the tasks right now. True. I'm sure once we're all used to the routine here, I'll have more chances to mingle. I ate with gusto, feeling confident now. When I finished, Sherry glanced at my empty plate. Here, I'll take that for you. Try to get some rest. But in the back of Sherry's mind, she's marking her down for not washing up the dishes. We've already been told this. Her concern cheered me up. Sherry is going to be like an evil woman at the end of this. She's going to be horrible. Her concern cheered me up, and I chided myself for feeling anxious when I had barely even arrived. Okay. I retreated to my tent and settled down. As I settled down, contemplating about tomorrow, a musical tune disrupted the quiet night.
Oh no.
It was quickly silenced, but I knew the Catra introduction theme to Ishtera anywhere. I grabbed my 3DP. What? No, I didn't leave. Was that meant to be like an MP3? I don't know. No, I didn't leave my system on or anything. Was someone else's playing? I might as well play some Ishtera. A little grinding will do me some good. What?
Oh, it's a computer game.
Oh. Okay, so 3DP is like a PS3 or something.
Yeah.
Or, not a PS3, a PSP. Okay. I booted up the game and the first notes of the theme tune song blared loudly. I'd forgotten that my earbuds weren't hooked up to the handheld. I set the volume button down, hoping I didn't startle anyone. The low spirits I felt earlier today melted away in the warm colours of the game. Okay. Success. Okay, so we're playing catch. We seem to fail at catch. Failed at social. What? I don't understand.
No.
Of the third day. And I'm enjoying a pleasant jog early in the morning. Since I don't know much about Corrine, I stuck to the familiar path between the train station and the museum. When I returned, I saw people mingling in the open canopy. That meant there was enough time to eat breakfast before the trek to the cave. I swung a leg over the bench and settled into my seat. After pouring myself some apple juice, I grabbed an orange and began peeling it. Hello?
It's Goaty Man.
Yes, he's got an eyebrow piercing and everything. Did you have a nice jog? He asks. Startled by the unfamiliar accent, I glanced upward, greeted by a friendly face. I did. It was a short one, though, since I didn't want to risk getting lost just yet. I don't know the area well enough. And he's like, oh, well, the roads can be pretty windy. You think you're heading east, and somehow you end up going north. Oh, yeah, I noticed the streets aren't all clearly marked. The names are mostly on buildings. How strange. Speaking of names, I'm Melissa. Pleased to meet you. I extended an arm and he accepted a handshake. What? Deandre. Ah, is that his name? Okay. Enchanté.
Yeah.
Wait, you're from around here? C'est ça? It's just your accent sounds different in English. People who've been from this. Yeah, okay. Your accent isn't French when you speak English. Did you learn it from somewhere? I studied abroad in New Zealand for a few years, and I picked up their manner of speech. Okay, that makes sense. Well, it sounds lovely. It's a charming accent. Seriously? Sweet as. I was concerned I'd be hard to understand, considering it's not my first language. Glad that's not the case. I'm grateful that you took the chance. For a while, it seemed no one wanted to talk to me.
Oh.
I worried if I was somehow unapproachable. Look how worried she looks. Look at that face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look how pleased he
Yeah,
is.
he's very pleased. Not at all. Many people here are shy in the beginning, but they warm up quickly. So I'm so smutty. We were actually intimidated by your presence at first. Oh, look at him. Oh. Oh. Huh? Me? We all thought you were some high school prodigy archaeologist since you obviously have flown in from another country. Oh, fair enough. Me? A prodigy? Oh, no, I'm just a regular university student working on her anthropology major. And I don't look like a high schooler, she says. First year? Question mark. No, second year. Well, I guess technically third. You? Fourth. I've sort of fallen behind on electives. So summer one seemed the easiest. We noticed a few students getting up and bringing their dishes to the outdoor wash area. Deandre reached into his back pocket and pulled out a phone. He glanced at the display. Speaking of which, if we'd like to pass, we should start heading out soon. Cave or lab? Right now I'm on dishwasher duty, but I'll be working in the lab afterwards. They're still they're still getting around to approving people's photographs, including mine. This is a very slow photograph approval process, I think.
Yeah.
Very slow.
But maybe if there are like 40 people and there are only 2 people who are doing the approving, maybe people are shit and doing a lot of things wrong.
Yeah, possibly. Okay, I can buy into that. Again, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it. It's no problem. I know what it's like to be in a new country and away from your folks. Once we finished breakfast, we stood up at the same time. Oh, she's such a teenager. We stood up at the same time. We momentarily gazed at each other in surprise. He was much taller than I had expected. He was near Kyla's height. Dreamy. Now that I think about it, most, if not all of the students here were easily a few inches taller than me, or more. Do you know why? That's because of the good diet and exercise. Deandre hammered a fist into his flat palm excitedly. Okay. Oh, that was the other reason why we thought you were a high school student. Hey, I'm only slightly below average height at home, she says. Deandre grinned in amusement, then left the canopy. I spotted a middle-aged woman frantically asking students something in French. What's going on? Helena, the receptionist here, she's looking for volunteers, but it hasn't been easy. I offered to cook all week, but it's not a one-person job. I have a partner for today, but beyond that. Sherry did encourage me to participate more, like I would be marked on my helpfulness outside of archaeology too. So, do you want to volunteer for tomorrow? Yeah, let's cook with him. I can volunteer for tomorrow, says Melissa. Would you really? What is that? Is he actually saying sweet ass? I really hope he's not. He's calling us sweet ass. Okay. Okay, would you really? Sweet ass smell. He said it again. Now I'm curious. Sweet ass. Oh, sweet as what? Yeah, says Melissa. Oh, it's Kiwi slang, for awesome, fine, or cool, anything positive. Yeah. I see. Then you could let Helena know that I'll sign up for tomorrow. Sure can do. Thanks. Okay, cool. So my photograph got approved. Now I can finally start digging. Okay. So, where do I start? From the top? Right. You start at the top and work your way back 25 centimeters, then proceed downward until you finish the layer. Okay? Some people prefer digging backwards a few centimeters, then work their way down. I guess that makes sense. So go into the section, then come down. Yeah. Either way, as long as you're making progress. For now, we have to remove the couche de mer. Is that the shit layer? Is that how it translates? I think that's how it translates.
I am hoping we will. No translation. No. Okay.
The couche, that sounds naughty. Using her trowel, she etched a line near the top of the square. The dirt at the very top was hard and compact, with footprints all over it. All this is out of context now. People have trampled on it, and it's been exposed to the air for so long, it's better just to remove it all. Couche de merde, that sounds similar to merde, therefore. Exactly. It's a layer of crap. See? But it's not crap, it's shit. You naughty lady. To phrase it mildly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, mildly. Just dig back 25 centimetres and a few down. When it comes to this layer, it'll make working here much easier. You'll need to you'll still need a document for this, okay? But you don't have to worry about the details. At least this gives me a chance to sharpen my excavating skills. I discreetly glanced in Kyler's direction. He must have been super diligent since he had already stripped his layer away. Hesitantly, I took the bigger trowel and started scraping. Amazed by the resistance, I had to apply more force to make a dent. Let me give you some tips. Now, we're digging! We're digging! Okay, now before we dig, we should remove the top layer. It's been treaded on, and the soil is now mixed and undisturbed. You can see how dark and compact it is in compared to the lighter, pristine sediment beneath it. Okay. Not only that, it's hard to dig through and all clumpy. Yeah. Already testing it out. Someone's eager. Now remember, you only need to remove a few centimetres worth. Try it out. Okay, so this is the merde layer. Note the top row has 5 beside it. This means 5 cells must be chiselled, blacked out, in an uninterrupted sequence. Since this is a 5x5 grid, you can clear a full row. Okay, cool, right? So, empty, 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 empty. Okay, that's the layer gone. Just like this. Perfect. A clean line. And we have the couche de merde there. Make sure you don't remove too much, or you might be digging into the sediments you'll be recording. Is there a way to prevent that? I mean, I can easily distinguish these two layers, but I'm not sure it'll always be obvious. You can use the tip of your trowel to etch into the sediment. It helps to separate the stratigraphy, so you don't have to constantly check. Good tip, good tip. Check to make sure you haven't dug into a new layer. I'll try it here as a practice run. Okay, so etch. So where are we etching?
There.
Okay. Is that right? Okay, so great. See, there's a 0 beside this row. That means no cells need to be chiselled, blacked out. You can leave it as it is. Okay, cool. It looks like the top layer ends here. I agree. Now you know how much left you need to clear away. Okay, cool. Here I go. Chisel.
Chisel.
Yeah. Come on. Empty, 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 empty. Ah, that's perfect. The couche de merde has now been stripped away, revealing the pristine sediments underneath. Note how the top 2 columns are marked with a 2. This means each column has 2 cells that need to be filled in. Oh, okay. So check. Excellent. So we've recorded the couche de merde. It looks like I've completed everything. Now I feel like a real archaeologist. Win!
I'm just imagining Kyler sticking his head up and saying, "You're not."
Indeed, you are melt. You are melt, yeah. That's wonderful. I'll be helping other students out, but if you get stuck, don't hesitate to ask for my assistance. Okay, cool. Right, if you're unsure of row, column, or future, click on the numbers on the sides or the top corresponding with column will be correctly filled out for you. Okay, cool. Hints left. I don't need any hints.
Nope.
So do we just chisel this now?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no. Did that make sense so far? I think it does.
Yeah.
I think so, yep. Here, I'll show you a little more. Now that the couche de merde is gone, I can finally start digging, right? You sound eager, but your hand is shaking. Are you feeling okay? I'm good, just a little nervous. I mean, this is a 120,000-year-old square, after all. I'm worried I might accidentally throw something of extreme value away. As long as you stay aware that you don't dig through sediments carelessly, we use microstratigraphic approaches which require high spatial control. Why don't you point out the sediments? Okay. Dig a little into this one. The separation is unmistakable. Okay. Everything still looks brown to me, but here I go. So this puzzle has multiple numbers in some rows and columns. It might seem a little daunting, but you can start by solving the second row. So what does that mean then, do you think?
Also, since we have a 2, so I'm saying we need to excavate the 2 on the top, like the first ones.
Okay. 2 sequences of cells each. You can't chisel them together. You'd have to have a 4 for the row instead. Okay. So what does that mean then? Chisel that? This means there needs to be at least one unchiseled blank cell between them. This is a 5x5 grid, so there's only one place a blank cell can be. Try chiseling the row now. Now this I'm not quite understanding.
No.
So it's like Sudoku, isn't it, really?
A bit, I think.
I'm just going to just dig. Dig! Oh, you can put dirt back again. Oh. There you go, apparently. Oh, actually, 2, 2. 1, 2, 1, 1. How does this look? Perfect. The first sediment is the 2AL layer. This is an alluvial deposition, so it'll be silty and easy to work through. So not many pebbles or grainy textures here. Okay, let's focus on the first column. See the first one, you've already filled it with the second row. Okay. So what does that mean?
I'm thinking that one, everyone but the one in the middle.
Okay, this means adjoining cells need to be filled. You can etch the cells around it. Okay. So, good job. See if you can complete the rest and click check whenever you think you're done. Okay, so 1, 2. Oh, I see. 1, 2, 2, 2, and then not. So there'll be 0 in that row, I guess.
Mhm.
So 3, 1. So 1 at that 1. 1 will be somewhere in here, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
So there's 1, 1, 1, 1. 1. 1 there?
Maybe.
Yeah? Check. Yeah!
Woo!
Woohoo! Okay.
I'm so glad our degrees are coming in.
Yeah, this isn't realistic digging, but it's fun. I think I figured out where all the sediments are, Sherry. Agreed. Do you still have your photograph? You can fix up some of the pencil lines you put down before. Usually you need to have your photograph approved by one of the staff members here, but since we're short-handed, I'll be overseeing the photograph submissions as well. I agree with the stratigraphy mark down. You can outline the pencil with a permanent marker and start digging from the top once you're done. Okay. Thanks, Sherry. Whew, this is intense.
Mm-hmm.
While you work on that, I have a quick question. Did you bring your journal? Shit! Did we bring our journal? I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't forget this time. Yes, okay, that's good. Okay. Wonderful. Also, have you talked to Helena already? She's the receptionist here and she oversees the volunteers for cooking and cleaning duties. As you recall, I expect you to volunteer, since it'll be good for marks too. Okay. Already got that covered. I volunteered myself for tomorrow. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to hear that. I was worried since she doesn't speak English and you didn't ask me for help. It's wonderful to see you getting involved from the very beginning. I like to do my share, marks or not.
Oh.
I'll let you finish the first task. I'll mostly be helping other students here. Give a holler if you have any inquiries. Okay. I personally want you to get used to digging in the cave first before you transfer to the lab. Next week you can decide which one you'd like to focus on. Fair enough, Sherry. Fair enough. Generally, students spend 1 week in the cave, 1 week in the lab, then alternate. However, I think flexibility is very important, so I'll let you plan your days. Sounds good. With the conversation finished, Sherry climbed the ladder, leaving me with a remote Kyler. Oh no. Geez, he digs so fast. He does have an experience, though. But I wonder if I can rely on him. So much for the square mate thing. Pulling the earbuds out of my pocket, I inserted them and turned on my music. Now let's tackle this mucky layer. Oh, yes, she doesn't like saying melt. Activities fail. Success on the internet. Okay, cool. Heavy, way too heavy. Why did I think it was like a good idea to fill it to the top? Not only that, I had climbed down 2 ladders gripping the bucket handle with both hands. I managed to trudge forward to the wet screening area. Luckily, one space was free. I set down the bucket and then placed a screen over the container suspended above a tub of water. I tried hoisting the bucket, only to find I was too short for this task. Munchkin. I kicked futilely at the cement block until I realised it was faster to grab and drag it to the next tub. Stepping on the block, I unceremoniously dumped half the bucket's contents, trying not to overdo it. Once I had my labelled cup next to me, I grabbed a hose, drenched the compacted soil using my free hand to break up the globs. While I sifted through the items, I glanced at the person across from me. Oh, hello, who are you? He tentatively poked through the wet screen, unable to determine if any of the objects were rubbish or worth dropping in the cup. Aww. He's like, it just all looks like mud. What do I do? I don't know where. His arms obscured his hoodie design, though it seemed vaguely familiar to me. Okay. I watched him, and he happened to look up, meeting my eyes. Bonjour. Sorry, I can't speak French, but I'm not even sure if you can understand me. I didn't mean to blurt that out, but he averted his eyes briefly for a moment. No, so for a moment I thought he didn't understand English, and I didn't know how to respond. Hello, he says. You speak English? Yes, I think I'm pretty fluent in it. Sweet. It's always nice to know I can talk to more people here. I'm not confident with my French, and certainly not my Spanish. And he's like, stop talking about Spanish, you! This is Belgium! This is France! You American! I chuckled while I waited for a reply. However, he meekly nodded, then glanced down at the wet screening. Total opposite of Deandra. Guess he's not big on conversation. Music is great, but I spent all morning beside super sociable Kyla. I need small talk, darn it. What did you say? Having trouble? New to all this?
New.
Yeah,
New to all
that's
this.
better. First time here as well? Yes, I don't know much about archaeology, so this is all new to me. It's a lot to take in. My head is spinning from all the info dumped on me in the past few days. Hopefully, all my worries will pass. I mean, see, this is so true. Like, the first time I went digging, I felt like it was like information overload, will pass on whether I can do this or not. I can enjoy the experience. Are you nervous too? Ellipsis. A bit. For someone being thoughtful on how to answer, it was barely a complete sentence. Stop bashing him, he's clearly shy. Okay, I need another angle. What else could I say? What are you taking in school? Or I love your hoodie.
Love your hoodie.
Yeah, I love your hoodie. It was going to be a general statement, but then I got a clearer look at it, at what he was wearing. Wait, no way! Some of the design was still hidden by his arms, but I'd recognise that logo anywhere. Oh my gosh, I love your Chronicles of Caleda hoodie. It's based on 20 masks, right? You've played them before? It was practically my childhood. I love the series, and it was my favourite one. Really? Man too. I've always appreciated the darker direction the series took with it. Oh, I see. So he's an emotional man. He's a geeky, emotional man. Yeah, I love the mysterious, spooky vibe they had going. My favourite part was learning about the world through the side quests. I'm guessing you completed the lovers quest. No, sorry, I'm guessing you completed the lovers quest. What did you think of that one? I loved it. It was really sad. I felt guilty I couldn't reunite them every time. I think I shed more tears over that than the actual ending. Aww. They're bonding over, over PC gaming. The NPC's schedules were super duper detailed. I ended up following each character. I agree. The main town felt livelier for it, and I liked how your choices could influence the characters too.
Aww.
I'm Shoji. What?
Georgie.
Shoji. Sorry, Shoji. He eagerly extended an arm, and I flinched from the unanticipated gesture. Seeing my startled reaction, he hastily withdrew his hand and averted his eyes.
Aww. You've been shaking every hand you have come up to.
Yeah. So far, she's been a handshake, eager beaver. Sorry, he says. No worries, I just didn't expect it. Here. I initiated a handshake, and this time realised how gritty and wet our hands were together. Aww. He seemed to be aware of it too, and we extended an apologetic look, followed by a laugh. My bad, I should have wiped my hands first. Not the best of handshakes there. It's fine. The burst of zeal he displayed when we gushed over games had quickly mellowed out. We realised we released each other's hands, and he silently returned to his wet screening. I did the same. Sometimes I glanced up to sense if he had more to say, but did not articulate them. What? Sometimes I glanced up and sensed, he had more to say, but did not articulate them. I already forced enough conversation out of him for now. When he was done, Shoji tipped over his screen, dumping out all of the rubble, which disappeared into the water below. After Shoji picked up his empty bucket, he lingered by the catwalk for a moment before returning to me. I'll see you around, He trailed off, and then it hit me that I haven't even said my name yet. Oh, it's Melissa! My name's Melissa! Right, pleased to meet you, Melissa. Likewise. See you later, Shoji. He gave me a grateful nod before disappearing into the cave. I might as well finish up too. So let's see. Socialising. Failed at socialising! Oh.
What are we doing?
And here we are in the kitchen. Once I'd finished preparing the plates and cutlery, I returned to the kitchen. Deandre stewed soup in a giant pot, resting over a single burner on the stove. I'd quickly learned that lunch always consisted of sandwich ingredients along with a serving of soup. Finished setting up the tables, says Melissa. Thanks, Mel. I'm so grateful that you volunteered and all. It's no problem. Glad to be of help. He tapped the top of the pot with a stirring spoon to let the liquid off. Do you cook often? You seem rather skilled. I don't know if stirring soup is considered a skill. At least you seem to know what you're doing. I've been cooking seriously since the first year of university, perhaps. I mean, before I could do basic prep or throw frozen meals into a microwave. Once I moved to New Zealand, I sort of picked up cooking while living in the dorms. Eating out is pretty expensive, and I needed to keep a strict diet. Okay. Strict diet? I'm guessing you work out or participate in sports. You ain't wrong. I'll just flex. You ain't wrong. Training and weightlifting are part of my regimen. I'm a rugby player. Oh, that's neat. What position do you normally play? I'm a lock. Ellipsis. I'm guessing you don't know much about union rugby. Not really, sorry. It's similar to football. I mean, American football, but without padding, right? Basically, locks provide the power and heights, break through defense, jump high and line out, and it sounds like every position. Oh. I lost you again, didn't I? There, he sort of pats her on the head. Line out. What's a line out? She's desperate. Well, let's start with a lock. Anyway, locks have to get the ball at whatever cost. He extends his arms, pretending to reach for me, and made a primitive grunt. Raw, aggressive, must get possession of the ball. Okay. Well, not as aggressive as flankers. You never want to be tackled by those guys. I giggled, deciding not to ask what a flanker was. and let's not even get on to hookers, in rugby, was either, and gently shifted the topic. Okay. Where did you learn to play rugby? I'm guessing New Zealand. What do you think, Liv?
Yeah, New Zealand.
Well, I grew up always playing it. Okay, fair enough. France likes to play rugby as well. Even joined a local rugby club, but I moved to New Zealand to hone my skills even further. Out of all the countries in the world, why New Zealand? Why New Zealand, I wonder? If I recall, you went there to study, right? How's that related to rugby?
Oh, you poor American girl.
Oh no, she is. She's a little bit naive. I went there because of one of the universities in Wellington offered a program that combined rugby culture with education. Cool. Okay. He grinned like a child reminiscing about Christmas presents. I got to enroll there for a few trimesters. Trimesters? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose it is a thing, yeah. Along with free tickets to elite games and a gym membership, dude, where top-notch rugby players trained. Cool. Not only that, I got to participate in their practice sessions. I learned lots down there. It was pretty sweet ass. I've never heard someone say that. I'm sorry. It was expensive though, and my visa expired. I guess it was inevitable. And now I'm finishing up my degree in Liège. What degree are you working on? English, says DeAndre. It all sounds pretty heavy duty. How do you balance both rugby and your English degree? You're not just focusing on your rugby career. As much as I love rugby too much can happen on the field. One traumatic or hard-hitting injury and your career's over. Even with less physio, you may not play as well as you did before. I figured if something were to happen, I could always teach English as a foreign language to fellow... The pot bubbled and DeAndre softly cursed. He grabbed the spoon and stirred again to prevent the ingredients from settling on the bottom. Phew, nearly forgot about the cooking. Guess time does fly when you're having a conversation. What's the time? I checked my phone display. About time for the students to eat. I'll get the cold cuts and drinks out. Thanks, this soup looks about ready. He turned off the burner and we began organising lunch. I glanced at DeAndre, and he happily hollered to the students coming down the stairs from the forest trail. Sounds like he's figured things out. Now, I got to focus on what I'd like to do. Mm-hmm. Okay, Melissa. I don't think he's got everything figured out in life, though. I think he's... Yeah. Oh, success at everything? Fail at gaming? Oh. Failed at internet. Success at study. Success at catching. Here we're back in the tent. It's starting to sound rowdy over there. Blimey. I could even hear the hollering and cheering of the video game music. A large silhouette appeared near my tent. I yanked out my earbuds. Mel, are you around? Over here. I'm in the yellow tent. He gave the tent's flap a knock, rattling the fabric. I zipped it open and poked my head out. Oh, well, there he is in his guns out. Something's up. I thought you'd rather socialise than hole yourself up in your tent. Want to break some language barriers? He held out a raspberry-flavoured beer bottle and swayed it before me. Although by the end will be incoherent anyway. This is what I wanted from this game. Ah yes, drinking, a universal pastime, says Melissa. Should I join in? Oh, should we join in?
Yes.
Should we?
Yes.
Let's party responsibly, or decline for now. Yeah! I laughed and accepted the offering. Relieved, I recently checked my blood sugar levels.
Oh,
Of course, yeah, she's diabetic, yeah. Oh, maybe we shouldn't. Oh no, we could put her into a coma. I don't want to put her. Why not?
Game over.
I want to see how you guys party compared to California. Well, there's no oceans or white sands here, but we know how to have a good time, he says, once again going, oh yeah. Guns. I stood up and clicked the drinks. Still, I was a little nervous joining a bunch of strangers. At least I had DeAndre to hang out with if the socialising didn't go well. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so what happens? Oh, that was pathetic, she says. I coughed and lowered myself down unsteadily, almost falling on my rear in the process. My hand clumsily groped against the tent's wet fabric, trying to find a way in. Where's the entrance? I spent the evening attempting to socialise, but it was fruitless. The whole time I awkwardly stood on the edge of the group or wandered around, unable to join in conversation. Oh, I've been there. I've been there. I ended up occupying my time by nursing a few beers instead, pretending to enjoy myself. Maybe I drank the last one too fast. I wasn't drunk, but I was definitely dizzy and lightheaded. ? Are you having trouble? Oh, DeAndre. I poured against the green tent again and broke into a giggle. It was hard to control my emotions. I can't locate the doorknob. And he's like, that's because it's a tent. How much did you drink? He says. I don't know, a few more, maybe more. It was a disaster. No one talked to me. Realizing my outburst, I took a deep breath to calm myself. I'm sorry. I'm clingy and whiny when tipsy. Oh, don't apologise, Melissa. You're better than that. Don't do this. Oh, don't apologise. You're not clingy and whiny. DeAndre knelt down beside me in concern and put his hand on my shoulder. Okay.
Aww.
I didn't mean to leave you alone earlier. I got caught up talking with a few others, and it's not your fault. You're not obligated to stick with me the whole time. I should have checked on you, at least, being new here and all.
Aww.
I shook my head, then immediately regretted it as my balance went off kilter. Fortunately, DeAndre's hand was still on my shoulder, and he ended up supporting me. Aww. Whoops, I guess I should sleep. Thanks.
Aww.
DeAndre reached over to open the green tent, but hesitated. I could be wrong. This is your tent, right? No, it's the yellow tent.
No, she lives in the yellow tent.
Of course, this is my tent. Now that he mentioned it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into someone else's tent. Wait, this tent isn't mine. Mine is. I gestured to my left. Luckily, I asked, "Here, let's get you to your real bed," he says. Ugh, sleepy, she says. Yeah, we've all been there. DeAndre, I keep on saying his name wrong. DeAndre, with one arm still around me, unzipped the tent. I felt a sturdy hand on my back. As I clumsily crawled face forward, my knee caught the edge, causing me to flop over. I burst out in a giggle over my own antics. DeAndre held the flap to make sure I was okay.
Oh, he's really sweet.
He looks a bit embarrassed.
Terrified.
Yeah. Jeez, you're out of it. Great, we've gone and given her a reputation. Oh no. Here, let me move that bag aside. I collapsed over my sleeping bag, my eyes already closed. A hand touched my forehead and brushed my bangs back. A little warm, but you should be fine for tomorrow. I felt the fabric being tugged beneath me until it covered me. I hope you don't kick it off. It's going to be really chilly tonight.
Aww.
I heard the tent zip up, and as I snuggled into the sleeping bag, my flushed face feeling better against the cool pillow. Bonne nuit! And there we go.
That's kind of sweet.
That is kind of sweet. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but I think we should probably leave it there.
Yeah. I'm thinking that we shouldn't get all the game in one setting.
No, we've been playing this fairly intensely, but that was a very pleasant surprise.
Yes, I was imagining we would just
be ripping this game apart, but it's brilliant. It's archaeologically fairly spot on.
Yeah.
The socialising is okay, the conversations, and it's got just enough of that sort of to give me what I wanted.
Yeah, but you don't get a dating simulator if you don't want that.
No, that's true. Yeah. If you want to, you can just be an archaeologist. But I'm quite liking the dating simulating. And also, we tried to make her into a crazy crazy power and party girl, but she resisted. Yeah. She resisted. Good on Melissa.
Very good.
I don't know. So do you reckon? I mean, this basically costs $14.99 on the Steam store, which is a wee bit steep, I guess.
Well, I think it seems to be worth it.
I
if
think
you
it-
like this kind of games and
Yeah.
archaeology.
That's the thing. I think it is. I think probably it seems what you're paying for in some respects is the research that went into it.
Yeah.
I'm quite impressed. Cool. Well, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this extended. This is probably the longest video we've ever done, Liv, on Archaeology.
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully you guys at home have enjoyed this extended play of C14 Dating. And who knows, maybe we'll have to come back to this in the future. Comment below if you want us to play a bit more. I'll save the game here. And right, guys, as ever, until next time, do take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
It out. We've got ours here. There was a sacrifice to the god. When did he die? He died